Good afternoon, everybody. It's a dog with you. Another edition of Weather This Week. It's the 28th of August. Can you believe it? 2017. Next week, Labor Day? Where is the year gone to? Welcome, everybody. We're talking police work today. We got Stu Peenstra, my friend, the chief of police of the town of Seneca Falls. Another good friend, Tim Snyder, the lieutenant of the Seneca Falls Police Department. They're here to talk about what's going on with the police organization in the town of Seneca Falls. So, without further ado, Stu, it's good to have you in. Thank you.
Thanks, Dog.
And Tim, it's good seeing you.
Thanks. Good seeing you.
Listen, a lot to talk about. Let's get right to it. Stu, I know that you were kind enough to give me a tour when Lou Farr and Greg Lazaro gave me a tour of the new facility. And at that time, you were thrilled the way it was laid out, the accommodations that you can deal with you and your team. Talk a little bit about the new setting. If nobody's been over there to see it, it's got to be a big advantage compared to the old one.
Yeah, it's very nice. All of the space we have is very usable. We use the majority of the building 90% of the time. There's a lot of safety concerns that we had with the old building that were eliminated now with the new building. Everybody has a more usable workspace. It's just a very nice facility compared to what we're used to.
And yeah, I had a chance to go through it, and it looked like it had all the accommodations to handle officers that were bringing someone in for potential sessions, interviews, et cetera, et cetera. It seemed like the layout is priceless as far as what you need to do day in and day out.
The layout is it's great. In the old building, it was officer safety issues with the patrol room, with the bench, the way it was. The way it's set up now, they have a secure corridor. Anybody in custody, they have to go to the north side of the building and go through the secure corridor before they come into the cells or into the patrol room to do their paperwork. And on top of that, arraignments are a lot easy. Now they can come right from our cells, cross the secure corridor into the court for arraignment, and then back. So.
It is a lot better. Tim, last time you were on, you weren't able to make the last trip in with Stu because you were tied up. Accreditation, you talked, it was a big point you were making. You had gotten accreditation, you got approved, you passed with flying colors. Give our viewers an update of where the accreditation stands and where the benchmarks are moving forward.
We're doing well with the accreditation. Back in February, I believe it was, we had the Accreditation Council, 2 members come up from Albany. They pulled 10 of our critical folders. They spent the day there going through those. All 10 folders were in great shape. Our domestic violence folder stood out above all the other ones. They actually requested a copy of that to take back to Albany with them because it was well put together. And then come 2019 is our recret, which is every five years. So.
Okay, it sounds like things are going along again. Stu Peenstra is the chief of police of the town of Seneca Falls, along with Tim Snyder, lieutenant, joining the Weber Show here on a Monday. Hope you're all having a good one. Hope you had a good weekend. For me, I could take this weather every single day of the week, mid-70s. It's priceless. I love it. How about you, Stu? You like it? Nice,
beautiful.
Like,
good fair weather.
It's perfect. Yeah, we're not making the fair this year because of other commitments. Stu, I had some people ask me knowing you were coming on. At one time, you had a person going down Falls Street with the old little old stuff they put on the tire to make sure you're not parked there too long. Is that still present, or has that been delayed or postponed, or what's the story on that?
It is not.
Okay.
We did not hire back that harbor parking attendant. He resigned.
Okay.
It's not anything that
Sure.
they did wrong or anything like that, but we chose to save a little bit of money there. We are going to try to get that back out with a part-time police officer next year that we can kind of slip into that role and mark up some tires and get checking that 2-hour parking on a more consistent basis again next year. So I have a game plan in mind for next year, and as long as everything lines up perfectly, that'll happen.
I know a lot of people on Fall Street hope you take your time, you know, as far as...
Yeah, some people love it, some people hate it. It's one of those things that, but it is 2-hour parking. It is in the law,
Sure.
and we have to enforce those things.
Oh, yeah. I think it's important that, I guess it should happen. I think some people abuse it. Some people may spend 2 hours and 10 minutes, Tim, and they get a ticket and they're upset. And I'm sure you could write a book about the number of people that complain.
They are.
But I guess it's part of, if you got to follow a code and it's law in the town of Seneca Falls, it's something you have to adhere to.
Yeah, we give them a little bit of breathing
Yeah.
room too, so
It isn't-
we don't sit there and look at our clock and wait for 2 hours and 1 second to be over with.
It's not like the 60-minute clock, tick, tick, tick.
No.
Okay, good.
Majority of it wasn't even tickets. It was warnings that were issued. The
Sure.
first few weeks, kind of like what we do in the wintertime for winter hours.
Right.
Is we'll issue warning tickets for a couple weeks so people know that we're going to start enforcing it after a certain day.
Well, you guys can speak volumes on this topic. I knew I wanted to bring it up to you. The drug epidemic, and I use that term loosely, Stu, because there's not a night that goes by that I don't read the paper or check on Finger Lakes One at Jimmy and Josh and all the people that work here. Where do you think the answer is going with this? Is it becoming unbelievably concerning? Obviously concerning as a police chief, but I guess I'm concerned about the fact that too many young people, and not just young people, are getting tied up in drugs, and it worries me as we move forward. I don't see it ending, and I just wondered how, from a point of view of a chief of police, it must concern you as well.
Yeah, it's very concerning. I think the drugs today, heroin and
Sure.
some of these, even marijuana, today with the amount of THC that's in marijuana, these drugs are highly addictive, and more so than ever. And it's a big issue. I think part of the solution is to actually have more treatment centers available for these people to get help. Right now, if a drug addict was to say decide that they want help today,
Right.
they might not get in today, and it might be some time before they get in, and maybe by then they're not ready for that help anymore, and they're back onto another drug or the drug of choice. So. I think making sure that there's enough treatment facilities for these people that are suffering from this addiction is important. We can go out and arrest as many drug dealers as we can. They're going to continuously pop up, but that's what we do, and we're going to continue to do that. I feel that if we can curb the drug issue in Seneca Falls and make it so it's not convenient or easy to obtain these drugs in town, we're doing something. If they could go anywhere to get the drugs, but if we can get it so it's not readily accessible here in the town, I would be happy.
And Tim, you started off on the road. Obviously, my buddy, I'm going to have dinner with him tonight. Frank tells great stories when he
I
worked
watched
with
it
you.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, did a good job.
He did.
You've been various capacities. Now you're a lieutenant, but certainly you can speak volumes of what you see on the street and what you are involved in with the officers. Talk a little bit about your assessment of where we stand right now in the drug war, if it's called that.
I agree with the chief. If we need more facilities for treatment. It's not always about enforcement, but we also, within this county, I know the sheriff's department and our department work pretty well together on the drugs lately, and enforcement is what we're doing at this point. If people know they can't come here to deal drugs without getting arrested, then it would deter them to stay out of town, I think. So.
Well, without mentioning names and mentioning numbers, Stu, and I'll let Tim and you both comment on this topic. Del Lago is up and running. They opened up February 1st. It's a huge enterprise, some $450 million. A lot of people are coming from all points of New York to come visit. As you said, the gray hairs, I'm entitled to the opportunity of going on and meeting them on the buses as they come in.
I can say that because I am one. So
I know, and I see a lot of buses coming through. We had 4 or 5 charters this morning before I came home. A lot of speculation when the casino was being considered, and then we started digging holes, and we built the casino built it up with the Wilmeride family and other owners. There was one negative from the opposing people that didn't want the casino there about the rise of crime. In your judgment, they've been open about 6 or 7 months, open up February 1. Do you see a big steep in problems out there that you know of, or is it just a few here and a few there?
Well, I can only speak for our
Sure.
town, which is
Right.
just outside, obviously, the jurisdiction there.
Right.
There has been a little bit of an increase in crime, but nothing crazy. I think it was probably good for this county to have something like that move in. And we haven't seen a huge increase in traffic or crime. There has been a little bit of things that have gone on in different hotels and area, but from my perspective, I think it was probably a good thing for the economy for Seneca County.
They're certainly generating sales, and they're generating a lot of tax revenue, Tim. And I got to admit, even though I had a lot of the executives, we'll continue to have executives on the next several shows. We have 2 or 3 more from different disciplines coming in to do the show with me. But Tim, when they first projected building it out there, I thought, where are we going to put a casino? Past the McGee Diner or off the thruway? I like the location, obviously. Because anybody, including me, who can't get from here to my apartment without screwing up, would realize, just get off 41 and take a quick left. There it is. You can't miss it. It's a big building, or buildings. I was amazed of the traffic flow. Now, I realize Saturday and Sundays are key days for us, Friday nights usually, but Saturdays and Sundays are really busy out there because there's promotions going on, giveaways, etc. What's your view on it so far? It's been pretty amazing. Traffic seems to move pretty good.
It does. Traffic seems to get heavy only when they have a big venue.
Yeah, big show.
That's when it increases for us. All the local hotels in Seneca Falls, I know, have a bus or transportation for whoever's staying in their hotel. So, to have people leaving there after consuming alcohol, there's no excuse, because there's plenty of other avenues to take with the taxis in the area, the limos, the buses from the hotels. I've even heard the casino will give you a ride back in if you need one.
Exactly,
we see a lot of traffic coming up when the venues are going, but other than that, it's running pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good point, Stu. DWI is a very important issue, an issue that causes deaths, causes issues, as you know, better than anyone. I know I seem to read the police beat most every day and either check on Jimmy's Finger Lakes One. Some people just don't get it, and I know at my age I have a beer or two, but I'm very careful of what I drink because of my age. I don't drink like I used to like 30, 40 years ago, but where I'm going with this is that there really shouldn't be any excuse to get in a car when you know flat out well you can't operate that car. And all you're doing, as you talked about on a previous show here, that you're risking the possibility of A, hurting yourself or killing yourself, and another worst case scenario, hitting or killing someone else.
Yeah, there really is no excuse for it whatsoever. I mean, with, like the lieutenant said, with that many taxis and shuttles throughout the town, there's really, no reason for it whatsoever. So, our numbers were down. Last couple months, our numbers are high again. So I was kind of hoping that our numbers for numbers DWI related arrests in the county. So I was kind of hoping that maybe they would come down this year, but it seems to me like the last couple months they're gonna probably average out again. So people are still out there doing it and rolling the dice every single day, and it's a dangerous thing to mess around with.
And our guys are extremely aggressive on it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's we'd rather have the reputation that we're not putting up with the drinking and driving than not to have it. So you think that it would help.
Talk a little bit about .08. I think people get confused what a .08 means. You guys, being the police authority, know what a .08 is, and that's the law in New York State. But if you're not eating anything, Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, it doesn't take much to get to an 08, correct?
No,
depending on your weight and your height.
Usually a drink is 0.02.
Okay.
You work your way up that way, then you got the absorption and things like that. Food plays a factor in it. When you ate, are you eating now? So there's a bunch of variables that go into getting to that point. I think a lot of people, some of their biggest mistakes they have when they leave after last call is taking some shots or things like that, and then obviously it jumps your BAC up quick.
Well, I think you work with other police agencies throughout the various counties. You're close to them, knowing the way they react, and I think there's a unified effort between all police authorities to try to minimize. I don't think you can ever erode completely. I just don't think that's the common nature of all human beings. I think they can have 3 or 4 beers and a couple of shots, as Tim pointed out, and still get in a car and drive home. Yes, maybe they'll get home safely, and maybe they got somebody in a car, their wife or girlfriend, or believe it or not, somebody that's 18 or 19 in the back seat. But as you know, when you have trouble handling your eyesight versus what you got to do to make turns left and right, being in the right lane, et cetera, and keeping control of an automobile, because those are dangerous 5,000 big vehicles that could cause a lot of damage. First-hand knowledge.
Right.
It's pretty scary. So the point is don't call me Father Weber, but I think if you're checking me out right now on the air, it's always good to have that drink or two. Have a drink or two, but use common sense and be careful of the fact that when you're driving, you're risking not only your health, you're risking somebody else's, and that is not worth it for another couple of drinks. It makes no sense.
Well, you've got the alcohol problem, but on the rise now is the drug problem.
Yeah.
With people driving as well. That's say drugs. If you're under the influence of heroin or other drugs like that, prescription drugs, you're still breaking the law. So
even the abuse of the prescription drugs that are prescribed to you.
That's true.
And it seems to be an issue that people abusing those, getting in a car and driving. So it's very dangerous, and people really need to be using their head about it.
I know I met you and your wife. First time I met your wife at the Doyle Marquardt retirement party, which was a festive evening at the Club 86. They got a new chief in Waterloo, and your comments about that. You wish him well, I am assuming.
I do. Jason Godley, he's going to do a great job. Obviously has some big shoes to fill.
Sure.
With Chief Marquardt throughout all those years, but he'll do a great job, and I'm excited for him, and I wish him well.
I think somebody should realize, and you've mentioned it, we'll take our break, the chiefs in the area work together.
Yeah, we're real close. So,
Okay.
As I came in as chief 5.5 years ago, people come to me, anything you need
Sure.
whatsoever. And, I've reached out to Jason,
Sure.
anything that he needs to help his department achieve its goals and better themselves. We're there for them, because that's how we got to where we are today.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're a very good agency today.
Exactly.
But we didn't get there by creating the wheel. Somebody already created that for us. We just kind of picked up some stuff that fit us well and started applying it. So.
Stu Peenstra, along with Tim Snyder, joining me this afternoon on the Weber Show. We appreciate you joining us, and we're going to take our commercial break. There actually are people smart enough to pay for this show. Just kidding. It's nice to have sponsors, and we'll play them right now and come back after this. Acting as a gateway to the Finger Lakes, Del Lago leverages the natural beauty and unique offerings while enhancing tourism in the region. The casino features 2,000 slot machines, 89 gaming tables, including 12 poker tables, portico by Fabio Viviani, a 2,400-person entertainment center, farmers market buffet. The hotel, spa, and banquet facility will open summer 2017. Cayuga Lake National Bank. Visit Bill Ryan and his team for all of your banking needs. Offices in Union Springs and Aurora, a fine sponsor of this show for over 30 years. DA Liquor on Bridge Street in Seneca Falls. Amy Padula and her team will find the right spirit for you every time. When you stop in, tell Amy the dog sent you. The Gold Hotel welcomes you to come out and enjoy the revitalization of this historic downtown Seneca Falls landmark. Every Wednesday is Ladies' Night with special price drinks and half-priced appetizers. Learn more at thegouldhotel.com. The Omen Theater on William Street in Lyons. See what's playing this week at omentheater.com. Located off New York State Thruway Exit 41, the McGee Diner has earned their reputation as a popular family restaurant, serving country fresh home-cooked meals daily. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and check out their menu at mcgeediner.com. Seneca Metals is an award-winning company that has earned a reputation of going above and beyond to protect the environment and support their community. As an EPA inspector once said, their operation is head and shoulders above the rest. And the Newark Pilots of the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League, a minor league team with a major league ballpark. Season ticket packages available at newarkpilots.com. And the Wilson Press in Seneca Falls. My good pal Rich Rickey and his team can handle all of your printing and mailing needs. Visit them online at wpress.com. Cicino's Live, Laugh, Eat Well. It's the Italian way. It's also the Cicino's way. Visit one of their 3 locations, Waterloo, Geneva, and now at the Lago Resort and Casino. Order online for pickup or delivery at cicinos.com. Welcome back, everybody. It's the dog with you on a good old Monday. It's hard to believe we have reached the end of August. And I should ask these guys, you guys didn't spend $150 to watch Mayweather and that clown, did you?
I did not.
Thank you. How about you, Stu? You didn't spend it?
Watched it on ESPN the next day.
Oh, that's my kind of guy. Mayweather, I posted on my Facebook page today. He was depositing $100 million today. Oh, my God.
That's tough.
It is amazing, yeah. Well, that's all it was, is a money grab.
Right.
And, people can be just a little wacko when it comes to spending money. I had no inclination of spending money to watch that thing. Now, back in the old days, of course, I'm older than you both, you guys, but Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay, there were some good fights. Just go to the Strand Theater on Fall Street for like $20 to watch the fights. Yeah, those were the good old days.
Our era was Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
I don't think
Iron Mike.
Yeah, that was good.
I don't think they deposited $100 million though. Maybe through their career they're halfway there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. All right, we got Stu Peenstra along with Tim Snyder in the house, the lieutenant and the chief joining us on the show. And before we took our commercial break, and we do thank our great sponsors. Before I go to Tim, I just want to read something from Seneca Metals. They always like me to plug their events out there, and I always am glad to do it. They got a Chimney Bluffs migration hike coming up. It's one of the most amazing natural phenomena on Earth is the autumn songbird migration. Warblers, virals, flycatchers, orioles, and tanagers are leaving their breeding grounds in Canada and flying to winter to the tropics on the Lake Ontario shoreline is a great place to encounter dozens of bird species. Join us on this family-friendly 1-mile hike led by an Audubon naturalist to learn how to identify these songbirds and why the shoreline is a critical stopover habitat for migratory birds. Limited number of binoculars included. If you have them, bring them. This event's going to take place on September the 9th at 9 a.m. out at Seneca Metals Education Center, 1977 State Route 414 in Seneca Falls. It is a family affair, and they recommend anyone 9 or older to attend that. It's kind of neat stuff to check on the various migratory birds out at Seneca Metals. Stu and Tim, we were talking during the commercial break. One thing I picked up on before I knew you guys were coming in, you're kind enough to come on the show today, was the fact that police officers, including yourself, the chief or lieutenant, whatever the title you have, there's some people that take an adversary thinking of the police versus the normal citizen that, hey, they're going to try to get me for this and get me for that. And that's not the case. If you screw up and you do something that's breaking the law, your job is to take care of it, buy a ticket or whatever. But what I've noticed, what I was really impressed by, convention days, and Tim mentioned It's a Wonderful Life, the Canal Fest, you bring your car or cars down to the site and show the kids what's going on with the equipment. Talk a little bit about the engagement that you do with these events. I think it's good.
Yeah, it's actually, one of the best part of my job, right, is interacting with the people and the community and the kids. We bring our cars down, we open them up. There's not many people that kind of understand what's in a police car or have ever been inside of one. We let the kids climb in there. We throw a shirt over the top of them, put a police hat on them. Shut the door. We take a digital picture of them looking out through the window, and then we email that out to the parents.
Neat.
It's very inexpensive, and the kids love it. We love it. We get to spend that couple minutes with them, interacting with them getting to know us, understand that we're humans behind this uniform as well, and that, we all, many of us all have kids as well and families, and this is a career that we've chose to be public servants, and that's part of being public servants is serving the public and getting to know the public that you serve. So it's important for me that my department gets out there and participates in these things. We just had National Night Out where we organized an event down at the community center, and one of the things that I promoted was a water balloon toss with kids. So that water balloon toss really kind of turned into a free fall for all at the very end, turned into a water balloon fight. But it was so much fun.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, those are moments, that these kids hopefully will remember for a long time.
That's good.
They really get to know us on a more personable level. We have the school resource officer in the school now that's connecting the community with law enforcement and the school district together, and we have the full support of the Seneca Falls School District on that, and our town board. It's really all pulling the pieces together and making us a community law enforcement department that everybody can love and respect.
I couldn't agree more. I think it's great, Tim. I think what you're doing to try to engage the public, and you're not their enemy.
Right.
You guys go to the same grocery stores. You go get the same clothes from different malls or different stores. You go to the same restaurants. So I hate that element of people thinking it's us against them. It's not that way it should be. And I think what you're doing and your team doing, I think it's great.
Thanks.
Really good. Well, listen, it's hard to believe. We look at the clock and it's 3:30, so this show flies by. Promise if you guys will come back down the road, we'd love to have you. And Stu, we'll get a hold of you when we bring in Ashley regarding that Child Advocacy Center, which I know you're a big fan of in Waterloo.
Yeah, big supporter of that. I'd love to come back.
And Tim, I think that's a great thing they're doing in Waterloo. On Main Street, I had a chance to see it when it was getting reconstructed, put together. Ashley says it's going along a lot better. She sent me a text the other day. I'll be going up in a week or two to see how it's progressing, but that is phenomenal for Waterloo. It's a satellite office, but man, if we can detour and work on child abuse, it's going to be all thumbs up for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, Tim, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
All right, Stu, thank you.
Thanks, Doc.
Look
Appreciate
forward to
it.
seeing you guys down the road. Hopefully not with a light flashing. Oh, they would love that. Trust me. They'd be in here tomorrow. All right, for
Hope
Stu.
they call me when that happens.
Oh, I know. Thank you. You'll probably come up. You live in Syracuse?
We
You live in Syracuse?
No.
You probably drive up just to see the light flashing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I got that.
got body cameras.
I know you do. All right, speaking for Tim Snyder, Lieutenant of the Seneca Falls Town Police Department, along with my friend Stu Peenstra, the Chief of Police. We thank them for joining us here. Take care, everybody. Hey, we're off next week. It's Labor Day, baby. Enjoy it. Enjoy that hamburger.